And I'm back, bringing you the finest in Dark Souls entertainment. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try this one more time, just because I've come this far. Although, okay, my progress got wiped out by being killed horribly by the Hydra, but you know what? I'm doing this. For you, for me, for everybody out there who has dreamed of reaching Ash Lake and getting the sweet, sweet prizes from within it. Oh yes, there are sweet, delicious prizes. I wonder what will happen if I do this. Whew. See, this is why I will probably never play this game, like, get a, no death playthrough, because also on this, I'm just playing around. It's a let's play. So, I don't mind dying a few times, as long as it's entertaining. And, experimentation. That's what this game's about. Sometimes. Finding new ways to get to places and new ways to do things always leads to interesting developments. Oh shoot. Bounced off the root. The Eye of Death. These guys drop those a lot. I've actually farmed these guys in another playthrough because the Eyes of Death are, I hesitate to say the currency, but like the item you use to increase your Covenant rank with one of the Covenants in this game, which I think I talked about before, the Gravelord Covenant. I'll probably check my other videos and make sure I've talked about them. If I haven't, then I apologize. I'll go back to that later. But anyway, the Eyes of Death let you infect other people's worlds. And yeah, I joined the Covenant and basically gave them enough Eyes of Death to get all of the meaningful upgrades that a Covenant member could acquire. And this is bad. This is really bad. Okay, too bad. Oh darn, oh darn, oh darn, oh darn, oh darn. Yeah, so I farmed enough just because, I don't like the PvP covenants in this game. I have joined all of them at some point or another. I have never really gotten into them that much. I'd say the one I got the most into was the Dark Moon Guardians, what they're called, because they have a kind of a neat thing. Alright, now, PvP in this game, as you know, is not strictly voluntary. If you are in human form, you can be invaded by a player with a red eye orb or a cracked red eye orb, and they can send a red phantom to fight you and beat you up and take your lunch money and all that. Thing is, there's an item you can get called an indictment. If you buy an indictment, I think you only have to buy just one, then if you are killed by somebody who invaded your world, you can issue an indictment against them, and that will cause them to be marked as having a sin in the eyes of the Dark Moon Covenant, which then will hunt them down. And the members of the Dark Moon Covenant can invade those people's worlds and exact vengeance for you. So it's one of those things where, there is no systemic law or rule or regulation from preventing you from invading people and being a huge jerk about it. But it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you can do it, but there will be consequences. Oh! How does that work? So it's one of those, yeah, I can invade people, but if you invade people, then you'll have this group of people invading you as well, so something to think about. But yeah, I did that for a little bit. I'd say maybe I spent a day. I got like 2 or 3 successful invasions, which made me feel good. But yeah, there's a couple PvP covenants. Like I said, the Gravelord Covenant is one of them because you infect other people's worlds, and then to end the infection, they can like challenge you, and if they beat you, then the infection goes away. Then there's the Dragon Covenant, which I've been thinking about joining on this character and like actually sticking with and going through what they do. The Path of the Dragon is they collect dragon scales, and that's how they advance in Covenant rank. And the way they do that, other than just, finding them in the world and killing dragons for them, is if you, as in, any player of the game, possesses a dragon scale, they can leave a mark in your world to duel you for it. Which is kind of a, abstract way of doing it, because actually, I'm pretty sure it's a mark. I don't think they just invade you outright. That would be kind of mean. But if you have the dragon scale, they can fight you, or they will try to fight you. But if you lose, you don't actually lose that dragon scale. If they win, then they get the dragon scale, but they don't actually like take yours away, which is kind of nice. And the Path of the Dragon Covenant is actually kind of awesome, just because of their abilities. Because what they do is, when you first join them, you get an item that turns your head into like a draconic head, and lets you breathe fire, which is kind of awesome. And as you advance in the Covenant, you get another item that will turn your whole body into like a draconic body. You'll be like a draconian lizard person type thing, and it'll let you roar, which will stun people and like actually give you a damage boost for a while. And that's pretty cool. The downside to that is having the draconian body means you can't wear any armor. So your defense is kind of, and it's not like just a temporary buff. No, it's like you go draconic body on somebody and you're stuck that way until you die. So there's that. You know what? Feeling vindictive. Man, these guys are tough. I'm gonna see if I can get that item. Nice. Ah, back off. Yeah, these guys really are kind of tough. I'm not gonna pick any more fights with them. I'm gonna have enough trouble with that Hydra. Still not sure exactly what I'm gonna do about him. And I could try fighting him. I'm not sure if I want to, because I know I've tried fighting him before on other characters, and he's the same basic strategy as the other Hydra, but he hits a lot harder. And I'm not sure if I have a shield that can take it. And I'm not sure what my other options are besides fighting him. I'm pretty sure I can't sneak past him. I will say I have definitely come here earlier on this character than any other character I've ever come here on. You know what? Let's try this. And there's an item for my trouble. Another dragon scale. But going back to PvP covenants, covered Path of the Dragon, covered Grave Lords, covered Dark Moon a little bit. There's also, of course, the quintessential PvP covenant, the Dark Wraiths. Now they are, the bad of the bad. They just, invade people. They have There's cracked red eye orbs you can find throughout the game that will let you invade, if they're a consumable, that will let you invade someone once, and, well then, goodness gracious. So much for that. But yeah, cracked red eye orbs let you invade someone once, and then they're destroyed. And, you know, you can, like, sort of, you know, stockpile them, pretend to be a dark wraith essentially. But the dark wraiths get, you know, a whole red orb that lets them just invade at their leisure. You know, as long as they're in human form, they can just invade anybody. Potentially, you know, it's random who they invade. They can't like target specific people. Excuse me. And they advance in their covenant by sacrificing humanity to their covenant leader. And they get a humanity every time they successfully invade and kill someone. And they also get a weapon, essentially, called the Dark Hand. It's a fist weapon that has a special attack that will actually like grab you and just drain extra humanity from you. So yeah, the Dark Wraiths, they're in the... There's actually a chart on the wiki showing the relative alignments of the different covenants using the D&D alignment system, and the Dark Wraiths are the chaotic evil. You know, they are just selfish, totally self-serving, humanity-sucking evil people. And they actually feature fairly prominently in the lore later. We'll cover more of that when I get to New Rondo. Killing basilisks. I'm not sure what it is about the Havoc physics engine that this game uses, but you always get caught on dead bodies and just drag them around. You know what? Challenge for anybody out there who feels like doing it. Try and get through this entire game with bodies dangling off of you. Do it. I command it. That would be kind of funny. Actually, I wonder what the system for that is. How do they determine how long a body stays attached to you? Now, here's what I'm wondering. All right, we all saw, you know, that Hydra was just, you know, leaping over the island as I came around that corner. So clearly, he saw me and was coming after me before I went into the tunnel and behind the hill. So, could I potentially just wait for him to do the leap, you know, wait for him to pass by, and then while he's still like turning around in the water on the other side, just like run past him? I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. So, let's see how that works for me. It's actually kind of an interesting thing, too, is, in, you know, going back a little bit to my whole farming versus natural progression article. On the surface, it seems like you know, get punished for making a mistake, and that actually slows your progress. But if you actually retrieve your soul, you are technically making progress, because I have 2,000 souls, you know, up from 0, which I started the area with because I died. And then if I retrieve my soul, then I get that 2,000 plus whatever I had before. So I'm actually making progress, not losing progress. I'd ultimately say what the game really punishes you for is dying in a situation that you can't get back to or recover from. You know, it's dying and not getting back your bloodstain. That the game is like, yep, slap on the wrist, you screwed up. Okay, so there's his initial volley. Oh, there's second volley. That's the noise I think he makes when he's about to come flying over. But there he is. Nice of him to kill the clam guy there for me. Alright, now I'm going to see if I can just boogie past him. See, I've never seen him get over to that location, so I am not actually sure if anywhere over here is safe. So I'm just going to be in panic mode for most of the rest of the time I'm down here. There's a clam guy. Go away, clam guy. I don't like you. I just took one after me. But what I'm about to show you guys is kind of awesome. Whoa. Oh, no! Denied. Alright. I'm going to do a slightly different approach. Because there's two things down there I want to get. One is at the very end of that whole little sandbar that I was running down. The other, I actually, if I recall correctly, is not quite that far. That's right, I don't know where that is now. Okay. I thought it was like at the base of the tree, like right where you drop initially, but no, it's somewhere else. Somewhere secret, somewhere safe. Actually, it's not that safe. It's kind of dangerous. But that won't stop me. 'Cause I am an intrepid adventurer who cares little for death. That is something I do kind of wonder about. It's a bit of a plot hole, I suppose. Whoa. That's just a hole I made because I died. But, certain characters, I won't say which ones, but there's at least one character in this game that you can meet and talk to, and something will happen to them and you will encounter them after they have hollowed. And the whole thing about the undead, and the curse of the undead, is you never die. You'll suffer many deaths and you'll just come back a little less sane, a little less human, until you've completely hollowed. And at that point there's no turning back. Or is there? It's not really discussed in game if there is a way to come back from hollowing. It's kind of presumed that for the player character, when you go hollow, you just like only started the hollowing process, and then so consuming humanity brings you back. But yeah, there are characters you can encounter that do go hollow and will like attack you because they've gone insane. It's hollowing. And after you kill them, then they're gone forever. Once you've killed them in hollow form, they never come back. And the whole point about being undead is you never die permanently, but they've never actually fully, stated outright that, oh yeah, if you die when fully hollowed, then you never come back, you're dead forever. But with certain characters, it's kind of implied that, yeah, they've gone hollow, and you killed them, so they're gone forever. What's up with that? How does that really work? It's not like a game-breaking plot hole or a story-breaking one. It's just one I'm kind of curious about. Maybe it's a matter of they're only sort of even still themselves, like with their abilities and equipment, when they've initially gone totally hollow. Oh, man! Ooh, didn't see that coming. Thought I could have made it. Well. And then, once you kill them and take their stuff, then they're just another random hollow wandering about. And it begs the question, too, of, how do they come back? I mean, is it like Highlander, where they're unconscious for a while and then wake up? I mean, it's certainly implied from the player's perspective that, once you die, you're brought back at a bonfire. It'd be interesting to see the more of the mechanics explained of that. They do discuss how, a little bit, at least they bring up a lot how the undead are tied to the bonfires. And, they feed them humanity. And now we're starting to go into the speculation type area. But, why not? I've got time. I'm sure I'll wander down this tree and get killed a bunch more times. To where, alright, in the intro movie, which I'm sure all of you have watched because I've sparked your interest in this game, so you've looked it up on YouTube or you started playing it yourself because you're awesome and will totally give me your gamer tag so you can help summon me into your world and I'll summon you into mine, and we can have jolly cooperation. But anyway, in the intro movie, they explain how Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight, with the power of his Lord Soul, began the Age of Fire. But the Age of Fire is fading. And he sacrificed himself to keep the fires burning. Which I'm not sure if it explains there, but, cat's out of the bag now. Oh man, really? Wow. But, and, then the undead curse started happening. The Age of Fire is fading, and the undead are tied to the bonfires. And you have to sacrifice humanity to, power the bonfires, to fuel the bonfires, and to restore your own humanity. That's an interesting thing, isn't it? You burn humanity in a bonfire to restore your own. And the speculation is that the bonfires are actually tied to Gwyn in a way, and he is, through continuing to sacrifice humanity to the bonfires, we are, prolonging the Age of Fire a little bit more. That was dumb. But, I'm for sure that's it. And so the whole undead curse thing may have even been manufactured by Gwyn and Nito, first of the dead, god of death and all that stuff, demigod, whatever, Lord Soul Carrier, to prolong the Age of Fire by getting all of the undead to sacrifice their humanity to the bonfires to keep themselves alive and sane and all that. Which has some interesting ramifications, if you think about it. And I think it's worth pointing out that they always talk about, humanity's link to the dark and darkness and the dark souls. The dark soul, I should say. There's me. But they never really equate the darkness, with the capital D, with evil, which is kind of interesting. It's like, they're always talking about, the dark. And there is one boss that definitely, implies that, too much humanity, can taint you, and, and then there's the Abyss. We'll get into later. But yeah, so it's like, humanity is dark, but not necessarily bad. Which I often wonder about the intended meaning behind that, and what they are trying to get across. Because another big thing they bring up in like the intro movie is how fire brought disparity. Before fire came, there wasn't light or dark, and out. There was just, the gray. There was just the eternal dragons, and that was it. They weren't. There was no life. There was no death. There was no light. There was no dark. Which is kind of an interesting thing to think about. It's like, how would that even work? What would the world be like? But then came fire from wherever, and it's another thing that definitely bears the hallmarks of like a fairy tale or a myth, in that there's a lot left kind of unexplained. It's like, okay, from the flames, beings grabbed the Lord's souls. Those beings being Nito, the Witch of Izalith, and Lord Gwyn. And of course the furtive pygmy who grabbed the Dark Soul. And, birthed humanity. But now, who were these people before they got the Lord Souls? Did they exist before the flame? Clearly they, I suppose they must have, if they claim, because this thing is, they don't say they were born from the flames with the Lord Souls. They say they claimed the Lord Souls from the flames, implying that they already existed and were like, hey, Lord Souls, awesome. Perhaps they were just normal beings of whatever type. Because they do talk about, the humanoid creatures that dwelt underground, and the giants, and that sort of thing. Whoa, almost cursed. Now he's stuck on me. And how, they existed in the time of the Great Dragons. So I suppose they existed beforehand, before humanity, and found the Lord Souls. And we're like, hey, Lord Souls, awesome. And then came, the Age of Fire, and brings us back to where we are. I don't even know where I was going with that. Just kind of rambling about the lore. The lore in this is actually really cool. I do like how little of the story they kind of hand feed to you, It's like you have to kind of look for it and find it and piece it together. And on the one hand, you can say, oh, it's kind of lazy writing to, just only have these bits and pieces of the whole story out there. And you know what? Maybe it is. But it's cool, and it furthers audience engagement. If Dark Souls just told you the whole story, then there would be no speculation, and I would say a good portion of the people out there on the forums talking about Dark Souls and playing it and replaying it and looking for everything are doing so because they want to find the whole story, or they want to find more of their story, or they want to just, they have what they speculate on. What's down here? Can we get there safely? Let's try. They want to find the evidence that supports their speculation. And, refine their theories. And I would say that's definitely contributed to the community that exists for this game now. Because, those people wouldn't have gotten involved, or wouldn't be as involved, if it was just a matter of, here is Dark Souls' story, you know, in just a big wall of text that you get every now and again. It's like, no, you get it in little tidbits. And it's kind of surprising some of the places you actually get story from. You'll get a piece of a story relating to one character from an item, or just from a loading screen, a description of a spell. You can figure something out, and it's really kind of amazing. Just some paranoid about this. I know what you're thinking. Why didn't you just run across while he was getting under like that? I mean, come on. What I'm actually going to see if I can do is get him to go back to the other side. Yoo-hoo! I'm over here now. Oh, there's actually an item over there. Okay, don't come back over here now. Stay over there. It's probably just another dragon scale, but you can also use more dragon scales. And as much as I like games like Skyrim that have just this really deep and rich story and a lot of interconnected characters and all that, I think it loses a little something the way it spoon feeds you the story. Because it's like, if you play, Skyrim, and somebody else, plays Skyrim, you can talk about the story. You can both say, oh yeah, did you go to that one place? Yeah, I did, and I found out this and this. And yeah, it's like, okay, we all know the story. There's really not much mystery. But like in Dark Souls, you can say, oh, well, did you find the corpse of such and such? It's like, no, I found this corpse, but how do you know it's such and such? Well, because this happened, and they have this on them. So clearly it's got to be them. Wow, that's really interesting. Or, did you figure out that cool thing about this person? No, I didn't. Well, see, from this and this, we can infer that and that, and thus, amazing revelation about interesting character. I'm sorry if I'm being incredibly vague, but, trying not to spoil too much. Yep, he's coming back over here. Ah, Clam! Go away, Clam! I want none of you! See, now I wonder what he's going to do. Probably come back over here eventually, but... Oh, maybe not. Maybe I looked out. Maybe that Clam will stop following me. Maybe not. At any rate, at least the Clam I know I can outrun. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I should actually try and kill some of these clams. Because one of the things they can drop is purging stones. I know you're thinking, hey, you're going a different way than last time. Yes, I am. In fact, that's where I need to be, I think. Is that it? It's so hard to tell sometimes. Whoa. That's right. Whoa! Basilisk. I'm back in the tree. Yay. This is not where I want to be. That might be where I want to be, but that's not where I am. No. So I have to be careful here because the camera can jump around a bit thanks to the interesting geography here. Someone just died. Alright, now this part always is tricky. Fall down here. Alright. Take this path up. This will get me where I want to be. Miracle, great magic barrier. Oh, not quite close enough. Notice how he like flinched a bit though, even though I didn't do any damage to him. That's interesting. Oh, and I'm back out here. So yeah, got the miracle I was after. That was actually the last miracle I got on my first character, because I was going for the achievement where you learn all that you get for learning all the miracles, and I got what I thought was the last one, and that wasn't it. And then I bought one from this guy, and I thought that was the last one, that wasn't it. And I was like, okay, what miracle am I missing? And I looked and looked and looked and looked and looked, and I'm like, oh, okay, that one. Where's that one? Oh, balls, it's down there. Ah. You know what? Let's see what I can do about you. Gosh, these guys are tough. Oh no! Oh! Oh, that hurts. Hurts me so much. Once more into the breach, dear friends. There's still one more thing down there I need to do. And I do kind of want to get my soul back so I can buy a purging stone and not to be cursed anymore. Because I don't like being cursed. But anyway, so yeah, now I have arguably one of the most difficult miracles in the game to acquire. I'm trying to say procure and acquire at the same time. I don't know about that. Hardest. I mean, you can definitely argue that some of the miracles that you need to get for getting to a certain level in a covenant are harder, and that they require more work. But that one, I would say if there's one issue I have with this game, it is that there are some things, you know, mostly in terms of like getting to different areas, paths, and like, you know, specific maneuvers to get to certain areas that there's really no way to intuitively figure out. Like one of the examples I use a lot is, you know, the whole getting back to the Undead Asylum, because the Crestfallen Knight will tell you straight up, oh, you have to get in the nest and curl up like a little ball. But to get to the nest, there's really nothing. You know, there's really no simple, intuitive path to get there. Because, like, first you have to get on an elevator, then jump off before, you know, it gets to a certain point, then to climb around on these pillars and do a roll off of a cliff to land on a pillar to climb up it, and it's like, yeah. I just gotta say, huge kudos to, like, the first person who actually played through Dark Souls. Whoa, don't want to get cursed. And, you know, figured it out for the rest of us. Because, I mean, I probably never would have figured that out. I mean, I may have eventually. Can't say for certain. But I know when I saw how to get up to the nest, to get to the asylum in the guide, I was like, what? Who would think of that? and then like, you know, falling down to get onto that hollow log. Again, not like super unintuitive, but still, it's like who's... I guess that's, you know, kind of comes back to the game rewarding you for being perceptive thing. You know, it's like, oh, you noticed this little lip of a hollow log down here and decided to jump down and see what it was all about. Well, for your troubles, here's a miracle. Which, you know, it's something. Alright. Let's see if we can do this again. So what I need to do is lure him over to the other side, then lure him back, and then profit. Always that little moment of panic when you get stuck on that, because I'm like, ah, he's gonna shoot me, he's gonna shoot me, he's gonna kill me, I'm gonna die. I want to say it's like somewhere at this point where he'll yell at you. Yeah, do this. My soul blinking in the distance. Yo! I'm over here, Hydra buddy. You're not gonna be able to get me from all the way over there. Has he just like lost interest in me? Jerk. Oh yeah, he's not even looking at me. Up. There he goes. Alright, I am successfully past the Hydra. I gotta do that. Now all I gotta do is outrun the clams. I'm not gonna stop to fight this one this time, because that did not turn out well for me. I will definitely admit that this area is higher level, if such a thing exists, than I am really supposed to be at right now. These guys have, and you know, the fact that I'm cursed and at half hit points and not wearing my heaviest armor, because I still have all the poison resist stuff on, because sticking around in Blighttown. So yeah, I'm not really in the right temperament to fight most of these critters. Not yet, but I wanted to get this stuff because it's cool, and I'm going to show you guys the stuff. And I don't have much reason to go down to Blighttown that often. That's the way to the Great Hollow and the Ash Lake, and so may as well come out here while I'm out here. And I kind of wanted to show you guys that despite certain areas definitely having a level at which you're kind of supposed to be there, it's not a requirement. What's this? Ooh, that's kind of awesome. No, I will not join this covenant yet. I might eventually. It's kind of a weird thing that you have to get to the point where you're offered to join the covenant to get the achievement, even if you say no. Now, fortunately, you can't actually kill this guy, but aw, you can cut his tail off. There you go. And get the Dragon Greatsword.